So the future of video games may not be in movies, but is the future of movies in video games. Who wouldn't want a first-person version of 50 Shades of Grey? I mean, what? Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the shameless do a crossover with myself to make sure that people know about my new channel episode. Okay, so we all know that video game movies have a reputation for being awful. And in case you missed that episode where I talk about it over on Game Theory, how? This is a brand new channel, and that is not a brand new channel. So the odds of you seeing this video first is like 0. Anyway, obligatory annotation to that other video, go. Basically, we theorize that when they're not being exploited by awful people for awful reasons, video game adaptations fail because in converting an interactive medium into a passive one, you lose a core part of the experience: self-discovery. Something gets lost in translation. It'd be like adapting the next Divergent book into, I don't know, a car, instead of another totally mediocre movie. Seriously, Insurgent, I had such high hopes for you, and I'm not even a tween-age girl. Easy to make that mistake, though. Totally understandable. But what if we switched our focus? Instead of trying to make games more cinematic or into actual cinema, if that can even qualify, what if we instead tried to make movies more like games? What if there was legitimately a way to get around all the problems between the two mediums and make the movie watching experience truly interactive? What if we could actually make you part of the movie in the same way that you're the protagonist of a video game? It would make all those moments you wanted to participate in at the movies, put them right at your fingertips. Space travel, car chases, the entirety of Willy Wonka? Seriously, drinking a chocolate river, guys. How has that not become a real theme park yet, right? But MatPat, I hear you say, we're already bringing people closer to movies. Look at all the 3D movies out there. And yes, in a way, you're right. There have actually been tons of attempts, even going back way out before 3D movies, to make films more interactive with the audience. The truth is, though, those attempts haven't been all that successful, and the reasons why are pretty fascinating. So before we get to the future of movies, I'm gonna take you back to the past, like some other guy some of you guys might recognize, and take a brief spin through the history of interactive cinema. Interactive movies got their start even before movies had sound. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Smell-O-Vision, the first ever interactive movie-going experience. Basically, they would use electric fans to blow a smell out over the audience, or go up to the balcony and spray a bunch of perfume down on everyone. The problem was that even though things smelled right during the movie, it kept on smelling after the movie for days. It clung to everything, replacing the theater's smell of artificial butter substitute with the smell of things like Chewbacca. And believe it or not, but people weren't too keen on going home smelling of wet Wookiee. Plus, spraying all that perfume was really expensive. Walt Disney wanted to include Smell-O-Vision in Fantasia, but scrapped the idea because it was too costly. And you know, if Walt Disney didn't have enough money to afford it, well then, good luck to anyone else. Needless to say, this fad played itself out over time. The next interactive film experience came in the form of the Kino Automat, a Czech production from Expo 67 in Montreal. It was kind of like the World's Fair, except in Canada, don't you know? Where at 9 predetermined points throughout the movie, it would pause, someone would come out on stage and ask the audience what scene they wanted to see next, the audience would then vote, and the next scene would play. While we don't think of it as being super high-tech now, it was one of the first ever examples of a choose-your-own-adventure style movie. Even Hollywood became interested in the idea of the Kino Automat, but because the Czech were under communism at the time, the film was owned by the communist government, who refused to work with the West in any way, shape, or form, and the idea just kind of faded away. 15 years later, a company named Advanced Microcomputer Systems and an ex-Disney animator, Don Bluth, came at the problem from a different angle, the video game angle. In 1983, they made a new super high-tech Laserdisc arcade game, Dragon's Lair, which somehow managed to be both a really boring movie and a nigh unplayable video game. Winning on both fronts there, guys. On the surface, Dragon's Lair seemed to be just an average animated Rescue the Princess story that happened to be on a smaller screen and you watched standing up. The thing was, unless you hit certain keystrokes during the movie, like an attack button or pressing a directional key at the right time, you would lose the game aspect and the whole weird movie video thing would end. It was like QuickTime events, except you had no indication of what to do or when. Seriously, if you actually wanted to see the ending of this game, you literally had to repeat the middle parts of it like dozens of times before you finally figured it out and got it right. Imagine having to rewatch the middle 18 dates of the movie 50 First Dates like 12 times. That's like 180 dates with Adam Sandler. No one deserves that. Now don't get me wrong, this was actually a pretty popular game for a while in the mid-80s, and eventually became kind of a classic, but only for the novelty, and definitely not for the compelling game. I died again. Anyway, things after that went kind of silent for a while, except for some cutscene-heavy games like Metal Gear Solid and Heavy Rain, and terrible first attempts at virtual reality like the 1995 Victor Max Cyber Max, which unironically had 4 X's in its name. That's how you know it came from the 90s. Things lay pretty dormant for the next 30 years. Then, miraculously about 3 years ago, the wounds left by Nintendo's Virtual Boy finally healed, and virtual reality suddenly became relevant again. Everyone from Facebook to Sony to Samsung to Valve are now into VR systems, most of them focusing on headsets and your choice of unfashionable clunkiness. Would you prefer the binoculars strapped to your face or the Georgie LaForge visor? The pace car in this race has been Oculus VR, but a big new player on the block has been YouTube, with their own 360-degree camera compatibility. It's the first example of a major online platform working this kind of technology into a place where it could be used by small-time filmmakers, but at the same time leaving lots of opportunity to build it into big Hollywood blockbusters and major video game publishers. Google's even got its own parallel product, a VR system made out of cardboard that you then stick your cell phone into for like $5. I tried it out a couple months ago and it's awesome.
Oh,
It just needs to come with some sort of strap so I can hold on to like popcorn and, I don't know, a Diet Coke. You know, just as an example of a sample beverage I could potentially be holding. But all of this technology, for as awesome and inspiring as it is, brings up an important question about what we define as a movie. Movies are defined by a director pointing a camera at some scene and putting it on the screen. In essence, deciding what the audience is looking at, for how long they look at it, how closely they look at it, and all those small details. Then deciding how that scene fits into the hundreds of other scenes to tell one overarching story. But what happens when the director no longer has that control? When the viewer, instead, decides what to look at and what sequence to watch things in? Or better yet, when you can watch a movie but then turn your back on the main action and instead choose to watch something happening in the background, something that the 360-degree camera just happened to capture the whole time. That's what VR technology is making possible, but is that still a movie? Or because the viewer has control, is it actually a video game? No, it's not. It's neither a movie or a video game. We're at an incredibly exciting time where we're seeing the birth of a new form of entertainment, one that finds a middle ground between movies and video games, one where the director and the audience work together to create a new entertainment experience. The director choosing the world in which to drop the audience and then crafting what happens in it, but the audience ultimately shaping their own story within that world by watching what most interests them. It's an experience that's not entirely driven by player choice, like a video game, but it's also not entirely a director's vision, like a movie. Someone called Gotenks because it's a fusion of the two. Movies, video games, fusion, ha! But you know me, I'm not happy leaving it there. This VR technology is the next step in entertainment, but I can take it one step further. The future of entertainment, both video games and movies alike, isn't just about dropping you into a world and giving you agency expediency in it. It's about fully immersing you in that world. We've already mentioned 3D movies, but anyone who's ever been to a theme park has probably experienced a 4D movie, where the seats rumble and shake in time with the motion on the screen, water jets shoot out, wind blows, lights flash, and air bursts shoot out of your seat to simulate bullets flying past your head. Even smell-o-vision has made its triumphant return as scents get squirted out to let you truly get a whiff of that fast and furious burning rubber. But now, it's not just in amusement parks. More and more movie theaters are specially equipping themselves with 4DX experiences. So what we have currently are two separate experiences. VR technology allowing you to get a visual experience as though you're actually in the world, and 4DX theaters which give you a more visceral experience of actually being in the world. So think what would happen if you combine the two. Well, you don't have to, because people have already started to couple those two ideas together, resulting in immersion experiences. Ones like Game of Thrones Ascend the Wall, where virtual reality, wind machines, elevators, and rumble packs take the user through the innards of Castle Black and up all 700 feet of the wall, where you can then walk around on top and look out over the north. Or, if you're not interested in snow and nudity, you can try out Catatonic, where live nurses dressed in uniforms from the 1940s usher participants into a rumble effects enhanced wheelchair, where they use virtual reality to have you experience a horrific tour through a derelict mental hospital. I think I'll take the beheadings, thank you very much. There are even setups now that allow you to experience flying like a bird, where you lie down and flap your wings. Your eyes are the city around you, and the wind is actually blowing through your hair. It's awesome, it's terrifying, and it's immersive. Think about all of this. The Matrix was right. The future of entertainment is being dropped into worlds as real as our own, where you can look around, hear a clap of thunder, feel raindrops on your face, all while smelling the wet dog who just so happens to be running past. And it's a world where you have choice. What story do I want to watch today? Should I be Neo, or should I be the office drone? Do I watch the action in front of me, or do I turn around and see what else is going on? You know how the first movies with sound were called talkies? Well, my loyal theorists, I think it's time that we set the bar for a new generation. Let's coin the term here. These immersive experiences that you're gonna see popping up over the next couple years, let's name them right now as choosies. Get it? Talkies? Choosies? Choosy moms choose Jif? I don't know. I think it's cute. Judge it if you will, I think it's catchy, and it's a whole lot better than immersive experiences, okay? VR alternate reality experiences. Are they movies? Well, kinda, but no. Are they video games? Again, kinda, but no. But are they unlike anything the world has yet experienced? You bet. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. First off, please subscribe. Similar to milk, it does a body good. Plus, you found this video in the first place, meaning that you're probably a fan of game theory to begin with, so help me make this new channel a success. That being said, welcome back to the super amazing end card tournament, where today's question is a simple one. Are you excited about the prospect of VR film experiences? Do you want to control the way you view a movie? Or would you just prefer sitting back and watching things happen on the screen? I know for me, it's a little bit of 50-50. I'm excited about the idea of a choose my own adventure style movie experience, but I also love having all those decisions made for me, you know? Anyway, I'm curious to get your opinion. Click on one to choose and tune in next time to find out what everyone thought. And subscribe. Seriously, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but wouldn't it be super awesome if we could somehow get this channel to like 1 million subscribers in record time? That would be incredible. But I can't do it without you guys, so my fate is in your hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go work on another one of these film theories so we're ready for launch. See, because I'm filming this now, but this is you watching it in the future, so rest assured all the videos you see on the Film Theory channel right now, those are ones that have been months in process. I'm thinking of you guys.